Good evening. My mic on? Can you hear me? And welcome to the Winslow Township Board of Education regular meeting. Today is Wednesday, November 10th, 2021. Public notice of this meeting was given to all board members and associates in notices dated August 27th, 2021. Adequate and electronic notice of the public meeting has been provided, specifying the time, place, and manner in which the meeting is being conducted. It was advertised in the Courier Post, posted in all schools, the administration office, the municipal building, the library, the Quadruple Center, Edgewood Acres, Elmtown, and the Winslow Township Post Office. And this is our mission statement. The mission of the Winslow Township School District, a large, diverse, and growing community, is to educate all students to become independent, lifelong learners, critical thinkers, caring, and confident members of their community. The district, in partnership with the community and in a climate of cooperation and mutual respect, will provide an academic environment which values excellence and diversity, encourages our students to strive for personal excellence, and assist them in acquiring the knowledge, skills, and attitudes necessary to contribute positively to our rapidly changing world. Roll call, please.
Mr. Blake.
Present.
Ms. Drake. Here. Ms. Martin. Present. Ms. McClendon. Present. Ms. Moore.
Present.
Mr. Shaw.
Present.
Ms. Thomas.
Ms. Thomas will be absent this evening.
Thank you. Ms. Peterson. Present. Ms. States.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Can we now stand for the pledge of allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Shaw. Mr. Shaw, will you read out the goals this evening, please?
Yes, Madam President. 21-22 district goals. 1. Student achievement. Continue to implement best practices for delivering instruction to students utilizing all available and appropriate instructional models. This shall include A. Ensuring articulation at all grade levels throughout the district. B. Focus on innovative classroom instruction at all grade levels. C. Ensuring all students have equal access to equipment and resources needed to facilitate and promote student learning in any setting. D. Evaluation and updating all district programs, including athletics and extracurricular activities. E. Accountability of all district staff. 2. Continue to foster a positive school environment that is conducive to teaching and learning. A. Focus on building relationships among staff and families that will result in increased learning and more effective instruction. B. Emphasis on collaboration with all district stakeholders. C. Promote an inclusive, diverse, and compassionate learning environment. 3. Market our strengths and achievements to all stakeholders to increase capacity for greater parent and caregiver community support. A. Continue with our public relations marketing plan. B. Continue to work with various advisory committees of the district. And C. Examine communication methods utilized by the district.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Moving now, board members, we're at the top of page 2, awards and presentations. Dr. Potee.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board and community, tonight we'd like to make some acknowledgements as it pertains to those individuals who were invited here this evening. Mr. Partridge, our Winslow Township High School marching band, invited here tonight so that we can personally congratulate him, his staff, and all the members of the marching band for this year's outstanding accomplishment. The band was undefeated this year, Region 1 champions, New Jersey Group 1 state champions, and the Atlantic Coast champions. this year's Winslow Township High School marching band. This is their second state and Atlantic Coast Championship in the past 5 years, winning their first championship in 2017. Mr. Parkhurst, if you would come to the podium, please introduce members of your staff as well as the band members or leadership members of the band, and any comments you would like to make at this time about your outstanding season. Parkhurst.
Thank you, Don. Appreciate it. My assistant director, who has been with me for most of my professional life here, Corey Mercer. And if I could have, I brought the seniors and captains this evening, so if the seniors and captains could come up, I would appreciate that. Come on up here. Face the board, please. So we have Manisha Brown, Olivia Ryder, Emily Everingham, Tyler Esposito. I have drum captain Anthony Bombera. Guard Captain Naomi Vidal, Quarter Captain Gene Ember, Assistant Drum Major Jordan Jameson, and Drum Major Fawaz Musari. Oh, I'm sorry. Jalen Mitchell is our quartermaster. So I'd ask Fawaz to just go ahead and take the plaque around so that the board can take a look at what it says. I just want to say this year was very much, there were so many struggles week to week that we began to really think what the next week would be. And this group in front of you provided leadership and stability week in and week out. And the last 8 days of winning the Region 1 championship, winning the New Jersey State Championship, and Atlantic Coast Championship it felt like a month had gone by in those 8 days. And I'm sure it's an experience that these guys will never forget. I certainly will not as well. Thank you so much for having us this evening.
Before you step away, before the young people take their seats, I want to bring to the attention of the board, if you look at the students on the end, they're wearing the jackets that we provided for 2017. Mr. Parkhurst and I are in conversation now trying to decide what we're going to present these young people this year for their outstanding achievements. I want Mr. Parkhurst to know how proud we are as board and administration for your accomplishments. Under the most difficult and most challenging times, Winslow Township High School marching band still made it to the top and pursued all of those opportunities and were outstanding in the process. As a matter of fact, Olivia, if I recall, Mr. Parkhurst, she won a $500 scholarship from one of the organizations. I remember the symbol. Could you explain to us what that scholarship was for Olivia?
So Olivia won a $500 scholarship supplied by Tournament of Bands, which is the circuit in which we compete. And it was generated from Region 1, which is the area within Tournament of Bands, the South Jersey area in which we compete. And she was chosen among 108 applicants, if I remember correctly. So we're very proud of her for that accomplishment as well.
Again, on behalf of the administration, the school board, Parkhurst staff, and all of the students, and I'm quite sure all the young people who are not here this evening, we want you to let them know how proud we are of you and your accomplishments this year. Parkhurst will be able to bestow upon these young people something in the very, very near future. Just let me know, we'll continue to work on that. All right?
Thanks, Doctor.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Parkhurst, is your son was here that does the night train in Georgia? Is that Gene?
That's right.
Excellent job. Yes, sir.
We won't ask for a performance tonight. We know it's an outstanding job. Mrs. Fisher, before we move on, I'd like to just add a couple additional accomplishments and acknowledgments that have occurred here. And these are in the line of the first for us as a school district. Our cross-country team, under the direction of Coach Shanika Brown, finished 6th in the Group 3 South Jersey Sectional Championship. The 6th place finish was the highest team finish in 33 years for our cross-country team. And we know our girls' indoor and outdoor track teams have been state champions for years. Cross-country traditionally has been an area where our young ladies would use just for conditioning and preparation for indoor and outdoor. This year, cross-country, Coach put together a great team of young ladies, and there were individual awards, of course, but for our school to have a 6th place finish among all of the high schools that competed was a tremendous accomplishment for us. So we wanted to make sure we acknowledge Coach Brown and the young ladies for our cross-country team. Also, our football team is presently 7-2. They will be playing in their sectional semifinal game this Saturday at 7 p.m. against Colson High School. Now, if our team wins and moves to the championship game, this will be the first time Winslow Township High School football team has played in a championship game since our Winslow entry. So at this point, we're hoping, and of course, we'll continue to encourage our young people, the team and the coaching staff to be successful this Saturday so that we have an opportunity to host a championship game here on our grounds for the first time. So we want to continue to support the football team. Last but not least, and this still is a first for us, for girls tennis. Junior captain Gabriella Robinson ended this tennis season with a divisional record of 8-0 and an overall conference record of 10-1. She was able to win the Candy County Championships as well as the Olympic Conference National Division Singles title, again, which is the first time for Winslow Township. She qualified and played in the NJSIAA state tournament and made it to the quarterfinals of the South Jersey Municipal Championships before being defeated by the number 2 seed. She was named to the All-Group 3 team and the South Jersey All-Star team, one of only 10 single players recognized in the South Jersey. So we want to celebrate and congratulate Gabriella Robinson for her excellent season and outstanding accomplishment this year. Tennis, as you know, has not been traditionally a sport that we've excelled in over the years. Mrs. Robinson had an excellent season, and she has put Winslow Township High School girls tennis on the map this year, particularly having the undefeated season during the course of conference play. So congratulations to all of our students who are doing well and who are exceeding in the most difficult and most challenging we've ever had to undertake. So on behalf again of Winslow Township School District, administration, and school board, we'd like to congratulate all of our staff and our students for the job done. We are Winslow proud. Thank you.
letters of our names, Win. So then, need I say more? Okay, I'll go on. Moving now to correspondence.
Yes, Madam President, we have one piece of correspondence from the state of New Jersey Department of Education. It's dated November 3rd, 2021, and it's to Dr. H. Major Poteet, Superintendent. It reads, Dear Dr. Poteet, my office has reviewed the Winslow Township School District plan for virtual or remote instruction for the 2021-22 school year. In the event that your local education agency must close for more than 3 consecutive days due to a declared state of emergency, declared public health emergency, or a directive by the appropriate health agency or officer institute a public health-related closure, you may use virtual or remote instruction to satisfy the 180-day requirement pursuant to NJSA 18A:7F-9. Must post the approved plan on your LEA website. And then it concludes, thank you, and I hope you have a successful 2021-22 school year. Sincerely, Darrell J. Minus Vincent, interim county superintendent.
That is the news. Thank you, Ms. Williams. That is the report that had to be submitted by October 29th. Moving now, board members, I'm asking at this time for a motion to approve the following minutes from our Board of Education's meeting, our regular meeting that took place on October 27th, 2021, open session. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the regular meeting on October 27, 2021, open session.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Martin, seconded by Ms. Moore. Would there be further questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Ms. Shredden?
Yes.
Ms. Martin? Yes. Ms. McClendon?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
And Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Motion has carried.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Moving now, asking for a motion to approve the minutes from our regular meeting held October 27th, 2021, closed session. Is there a motion?
Motion to accept the regular meeting on October 27, 2021, closed session.
Second.
Been moved by Ms. Martin, seconded by Ms. Moore. Would there be further comments or questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Ms. Shredden? Yes. Ms. Martin? Yes. Ms. McClendon?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
And Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Motion has carried.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Moving now to our board committee reports. Would there be a report out of our athletic committee?
No, Madam President, I would like to thank Dr. Poteet for giving one heck of a great athletic committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Moving now, would there be a report out of our equity committee?
At this time.
Thank you, Mr. Blake. Would there be a report out of our marketing committee?
No report at this time, but just want to remind the marketing committee that we will have our next meeting on the 23rd.
That's a
That's the 23rd at 4:30 p.m.
Thank you, Mr. Clinton. Moving now, would there be a report out of our operations committee?
No, not at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Shredder. And there is no report at this time out of our policy committee meeting. Would there be a report from our citizen advisory committee?
Yes, Madam President, we had our meeting on Thursday, November 4th, 2021. Meeting started at 7 and 1, ended at 8 p.m. Present were Ian Moran, Nina Martin, Joe Thomas, Danelle Hunter, Donna Clark, Carolyn Carter, and Carol Pitts. Ian has supplied a link for all of the CAC members to participate in a self-evaluation. We plan on reviewing the guidelines for the CAC at our next meeting. The CAC members would like to congratulate the marching band on winning the regional, state, and Atlantic Coast Championship. The CAC would like to meet with the principal, Mr. Parkhurst, and make some suggestions and recommendations. Also, looking at recruiting our 8th graders to become a part of the band during, I think it is orientation or move-up day. The CAC would also like to know what is the 4th and 5th grade curriculum for health and obesity. I placed a phone call about the money this afternoon, did respond, and I do have that information for the CAC committee. Ian Moran is still continuing to work on the advocacy network, and that is the conclusion of our report.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Any comments or questions with regards to the citizens advisory report? Thank you. Moving now, board members, at this time, I'm asking for a motion to approve the superintendent's report that begins at the middle of page 2 and continues through to the bottom of page 4. Is there a motion?
Motion to accept the superintendent's report, starting on the bottom of page 2 and going over to page 4.
Second. Moved by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Moore. Would there be further comments or questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Galais.
Yes.
Ms. Dredden.
Yes.
Ms. Martin.
Yes.
Ms. McClendon. Yes. Ms. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Strobel.
Yes.
Ms. Peterson. Yes. Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Motion has carried.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Moving now, board members, I'm on page 5. Before I ask for a motion on the Business Administrative Board Secretary's report, I would bring your attention to page 7. Item number 12, if you go down to the last 2 blocks, where it says, there's a date that says March 7th through the 11th, 2022, that has to be changed. That should be simply this statement, on or before March 21st, 2022. Okay? And then the next block under that is a slight change to the dates only. It should be April 25th, 2022 through May 9th, 2022. Are we okay? All right, so therefore at this time, with those changes in consideration, I'm asking for a motion to approve the Business Administrative Board Secretary's report that begins at the top of page 5 and continues through to the middle of page 9. Is there a motion?
Motion to accept the Business Administrative Board Secretary's report that begins at the top of page 5 and goes through to the middle of page 9 with the changes occurring on item number 12 in the last 2 blocks, on or before March 21st in the first block and April 5th, 2022 to May 9th, 2022.
I think that should be April 25th.
April 25th, I'm sorry.
Okay. Second. It's been moved by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Moore. Would there be further questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Galais.
Yes.
Ms. Dredden. Yes. Martin.
Yes.
Ms. McClendon. Yes. Ms. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Strobel.
Yes.
Ms. Peterson. Yes. And Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Ms. Paul. I'm at the top now, board members on page 10, the personnel report. And for someone who may not have this change, under letter A, number 1, where it says 2021, 2022, new hire, beside that it should say not at this time. And so that's all that should be. So therefore, with that brief change, I'm asking for a motion to approve the personnel report that begins at the top of page 10 and continues through to the middle of page 11. Is there a motion?
Motion to accept the personnel report that begins on page 10 and goes through to the middle of page 11 with the one noted change in number 1 not at this time.
Second. Moved by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Moore. Would there be further questions or comments?
I'm confused. So for A1, there's a person under that, so I'm not sure why it says not at this time.
Because that information is not considered at this time. That should read not at this time, because there's been a change. And before we got, the change happened after this was delivered to us. So that number, one should simply say 2021, 2022 new hire, not at this time.
So you're saying that, that person there is not, I just.
No, Mr. Jacobs, would you explain?
Yes, there was a new sheet that you should have been given. That person is not coming. That's why that page was corrected. So there's no one there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Davis.
And that is between, Friday.
I'm looking at the old one.
Yeah, you'll see, the old one was, Roger Patrick.
I did.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments? Okay, roll call please.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Ms. Stratton? Yes. Ms. Martin? Yes. Ms. McClendon?
Yes.
Ms. Wood?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Ms. Pitts?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Thank you. Moving down, board members. Addendum at this time, we have no addendum. Moving further to our Open Public Records Act request.
Yes, Madam President. Yes, Madam President, between October 22nd and November 3rd, we received responded to requests from the Winslow Township Education Association, who requested logs of the HVAC system, all school districts and the transportation offices on September 1st, 2021, and any maintenance records for the HVAC system since September 1st, 2021. Those records were compiled and delivered. The second one was from the Winslow Township Education Association. They requested the Winslow Township School District's professional development plan. That plan was submitted to them. So that was.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Moving down, board members, old business, will there be any old business that you would care to discuss at this time? Hearing none, moving down to new business. Would there be any new business that you would care to discuss at this time?
Yes, Madam President. I was wondering, if we are going to put out applications for the Citizens Advisory Committee, for next year.
Well, as we have indicated even in the past, there is a process for that. And that usually goes out either the end of December or at least the beginning of January. So yes, there is a process for recruiting and asking for members for the Citizen Advisory Committee.
Okay, the reason I asked is I know it had been years ago where we did it in November so that those people were in place so that when we did our reorganization, they were there in the beginning of January. Excuse me. One other thing, we had talked a while ago about we are Winslow, Heart and Soul wanting to do the stories of the board members, so we need to find a date for that.
Well, if we could get, I think the best thing to do is to get with Mr. Ian Moran and check with him to see exactly what date would be best with him, because again, the only time that, of course, we were all together at our board meetings. So yes, that is not anything that we have in any way forgotten or put aside. But what I recall, it was supposed to take place back in August, then some things happened. And so yes, it's still going to be done. But I think the best thing to do is to contact Mr. Moran.
Well, I'm actually coming on behalf of the organization and I'm coming on behalf of the organization and Mr. Moran, so he wanted me to ask if we could come up with a date. They will come when we are available.
Now, when you say they will come to a board meeting?
They will come to a board meeting, or if you want to do it at a different time, I mean, they want to know when we are available.
Would they be available, would they be willing to do it on the weekend?
Oh, sure.
Well, let me say this. Best thing to do is to ask the board. Now, the board members, you do remember that the Heart and Soul had an initiative where they were doing storytelling. I think it was called storytelling. And they were asking residents of Winslow to say, answer 2 questions. What is it that you like about the township, and what is it that you would like to see change, and what has been your experience here? And it's a storytelling, it's in a storytelling format. And so what Ms. Moore was saying is that they would like to get together with the board to have that session, it would be a session. So I need to know some ideas from the board members that when we would be available so that Ms. Moore can take it back to Mr. Moran.
Madam President, question,
Yes, Ms. Moore.
would 4 and 5 board members place at one time?
Well, it depends on how we intend to structure it. If we're going to structure it whereby all board members are in place at one time, certainly that would be a situation where you would have to advertise so that the public know. Now, we can also have a situation where they can meet with half of us at a time, with 4 at one time, 4 at another time, and then 1. And so therefore, we would not have to call special meeting. So I'm asking the board, how do you want to, number 1, are you willing to participate in what the Heart and Soul is asking?
Are they, Mrs. Moore, are they willing to meet one-on-one with board members?
Absolutely, that can be done, because actually some of us have already done it. So, it's not even a whole board.
Okay, so how many board members have already participated in that?
I did mine at the, so actually.
Okay,
Or at least have already done it.
Yeah, I did.
okay, so 4, so there's 5 remaining. Okay, so that's easy peasy. So the 5 who are remaining, we can do that 3, 2, 4, 1.
Is it possible for them to come to?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Ms. Martin.
That is it possible for them to come to a board meeting?
Come to a board meeting?
Yeah, either early, so that we can do this.
I think actually that's what they were thinking about, was coming in conjunction with the board meeting. So that you didn't have to worry about getting together with the whole group at another time.
So they would be coming before our board
If
meeting?
you come before the meeting.
So about an hour, for those of us who have not, would about an hour maybe? Okay, that's fine. It seems that those of us who have not, participated in that today, would be willing to do it about an hour before our board meeting. Now, our next board meeting is on, November 23rd. And so, for the 5 of us, would you be willing to come at 6 o'clock, 5:30 to 6 o'clock? Does that work, Ms. Martin, Ms. Martin? Good. Peterson?
I'm gonna have a problem, I have a plate.
Oh, okay.
That might actually be a bad week because of Thanksgiving, so maybe we should push it to the next.
Which would be December.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that might work for that week.
Okay, so December 8th would be a better time, okay? Ms. Martin, before the December 8th meeting?
December 8th is fine.
Okay, Ms. Dredden?
Yeah.
So let's get Ms. Peterson, and we'll check this fine. So you can, let Mr. Moran know that if we would be available before the board meeting scheduled for December 8th, at either 5:30 or 6 o'clock.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. And I, just so you know, you may want to, there may be other people in the administration that he wants to interview, but I will check on that.
That's fine. Now, he is only interviewing Winslow residents, correct?
Yeah.
Only Winslow residents.
Thank you.
Is that the interview with business and so on?
Yes.
I just have a few statements with regards to information that was gleaned a week or so ago. Board members in New Jersey had our annual school board convention, and at that convention it was held virtually this year as it was last year. What I would like to mention is that at that convention, it opened with a student that was chosen by the New Jersey School Board Association to do a presentation. That happened last year, the student was a senior, and it happened this year with a student who was a junior. Excellent presentations. And so at my next meeting with the NJSBA, I asked exactly how could we find out about that and apply to NJSBA. And Mr. Ray Penny, I think we're all familiar with him. He will be getting back to me to let me know exactly how we can at least have one of our students apply to do that for the 2022 convention. In addition to that, also at that convention, almost every single time, and I've been to several of them, it also always opens with a performance from a school, either singing, play, presentations. And so here again, I'm putting Winslow up. We are Winslow. I'm going to check with NJSBA to ask exactly, because let's face it, we have a winning band. We have a championship band. And so why not let them get that exposure in 2022? So I'm just letting the board know that I've been contacting NJSBA and asking them that. Now, what that also brought to mind, I had to do with the students. If you can recall, board members, pre-pandemic, I think maybe 3 or 4 years prior, at our board meetings, we did have a senior from our student government come and present to us any information. Now, somehow that kind of got lost in the shuffle, but so we need to resurrect that. So I'm just saying, going forward, in our new year, that we are going to resurrect that. Okay, so that's all that I have for new business. Anyone else? Thank you. Moving on now, Dr. Lateef, information items?
Yes, I have 3 information items, Madam President. The first one is the district dress code policy school uniform survey. We will place a survey on our website starting next week. I will be making roll calls with parents, encouraging them to participate. There will be 1 vote per household using the parent portal. Those parents who do not have an account on parent portal will receive a paper ballot. We've taken the time to identify those parents who have not participated in the parent portal, so that we can provide them a paper ballot. Number 2, parent conferences are scheduled for December 7th, 8th, and 9th. The building principals are going to work with parents and provide them with options. They can either have a face-to-face meeting, a phone call conference, or a virtual conference. So they'll be reaching out to the parents and trying to find out what is best for them so that they can provide an opportunity to them through one of the 3 options. Last but not least, the Real Talk Superintendent is scheduled for Monday, November 15th at 6:30. And of course, I encourage all parents who would like to participate, please log in. Next Monday is, thank you. That concludes my information I need to see.
Thank you, Dr. Lateef. Board members, moving now to our public comment. The Winslow Township Board of Education highly values the input of citizens in making important decisions that affect the children of this district, of our community. We also believe in the rights of citizens to observe our board meetings, to ensure that all citizens have the opportunity to attend school board meetings and offer comments, and to ensure that the board can conduct the important business of the district. We ask that the speakers follow these guidelines of making public comments. The board president and board secretary will recognize those individuals in the audience who wish to make a comment. Please respect these following procedures. 1, all members of the public attending school board meetings must treat each other in the board with respect. Number 2, please state your full name and address. Number 3, please limit your comments to 4 minutes. 4, please submit any other questions that you may not be able to get answered this evening to the Board of Education with your name, address, and telephone number, where you can be contacted. Your questions will be answered within a reasonable amount of time. And number 5, individuals offering citizen comment are not permitted to make personal attacks on any district employee, board member, other testifier, or member of the public. At this time, I'm asking a motion to approve our entry into public comment.
Motion to enter into public comment.
Second. Moved by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Moore. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Thank you. Ms. Morgan?
Madam President, we have nobody signed up
Public
for
comment?
public comments in person.
Okay, in person, so, at this time, I also would like to know if we have anyone in queue who may have called in.
We have no callers at this time.
We have no callers at this time? Okay.
Ms. Pitts, excuse me. I know the last time we kind of cut it right off, and there were people who said that there was a delay, so can we give it a few minutes before we move on, please?
Certainly. A delay with the callers?
There's a delay between, yeah.
Okay, we'll give it at least 3 to 4 minutes. Okay?
Madam President,
Yes, Ms. Reed.
is it possible that we can find out if the high school has in the past years had the giving tree, will they be doing it? Will they be find out at our next board meeting?
Dr. Ortiz, is that possible? Sure.
Thank you.
More than likely, we will, we will.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay.
I know they're doing a collection for Thanksgiving.
Okay, so do we have anyone in queue trying? No. Okay. So therefore, board members, at this time, I'm asking for a motion to adjourn public comment portion of our meeting.
Motion to adjourn public comment.
Second. Moved by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Moore, that we adjourn our public comment portion. Roll call, please. No, I'm sorry, voice vote. All in favor? Any nays? Thank you. Mr. Long, executive session?
Yes, we have one item for executive session. It is under category number 1. The legal citation to this provision at issue is NJSA 18A:37-15, and the nature of the matter is an HIV.
Thank you, Mr. Long.
May I just check to see, Senator,
Yes.
Mr. Senator. Mr. Senator.
Okay, thank you, Dr. McGee. So therefore, at this point, board members, I'm asking for a motion to approve our entry into executive session. Is there a motion?
Motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Moore. Ms. Moore, roll call, please.
Mr. Galais,
Yes.
Mr. Drayton. Yes. Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. McClendon,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Strong,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
and Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Motion has carried.
Estimated length approximately 20 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. At this time, we are going to enter into our executive session.